We practice in an area of law where we are getting children from crisis to good, loving homes. And we do that primarily through adoption, but we also work in the area of guardianship law, and we also do a lot of foster care work. Really communing with the Holy Spirit. I think abiding with Him throughout the circumstances, especially in the type of practice that we have. We do a lot of litigation, a lot of termination of parental rights. They're very emotional cases. They're very difficult human being to human being interactions and confrontations, and in courts of law and in jail cells. And I think within those experiences, to really abide with Holy Spirit and not be tempted to use my wisdom or my words, but to really let Him use me more and more throughout the daily ups and downs of practicing law in a very emotional area. We're representing a couple that is placing their child for adoption, and they're incarcerated. And to be able to drive out there, and on the way out there, just asking the Lord to use us in whatever way He wanted to use us. And with all the circumstances of getting into the jail and all the circumstances of what's going on, to just say, Lord, I want to be available to give them hope. The birth mother who was placing the child gave her life to Christ, and I was able to lead her. It means for that child to know that his birth mother, the day that she gave him up for adoption and placed him in that amazing adoptive parent's home, was the very day that she gave her life to Jesus. So that legacy will go with that child, and that will be the story, you know? So to be used, I mean, that's just so much bigger than me. I don't care how good of an attorney I am or what my educational level is. My prayer was like, Lord, use me. You know, use me. I have spent over 20 years desiring that from my local pastor, to kind of know everything about my life, whereas I knew logically he or they didn't have the capacity to do that, but I wanted them to know me more. I wanted them to understand the sort of the struggles in business and really help me grow or expand God's kingdom through adoption. The way that you have taught and the way the material takes you through, it has put me in a structure that helps me steward my call and the reason for my creation, which is to do more adoption. I know that I was created for this, and I know that one day I'm going to stand before Him and He's going to ask me, what did you do with what I gave you? And so to be able to complete that race and run that race until the day I go home, and to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, that I have confidence that I can do that. So I would say it's affected, especially me as a CEO and a man, everything to do with my relationship with Christ. You should consider enlisting, but you shouldn't enlist unless you are truly going to serve. I don't want to be in a foxhole with a CEO that's not enlisted. I think everyone should enlist that is a believer in which God has entrusted them a business, because we are not going to collectively change the world through what we do unless we're serious about it. If we're going to say that we are really Jesus Christ CEOs, if we really want to take our orders from Him, then we have got to take time to let Him speak to us and instruct us on what He wants to do. And if we're just running out the front door, always late, always too busy to hear His voice, then I would venture to guess you're probably not hearing his voice. Even though we're saved by grace, even though he will still bless us. But how much more could we accomplish if we were serious enlistees in an army where it really is life and death?